Okay, so let's start the meeting. Welcome everyone to the Falco Community call. Remember, this is a CNCF project, so its code of conduct applies. That means be kind to each other. And remember, this call is being recorded, so if you don't want to show your face, just switch off the camera. Um, we have a pretty busy agenda. Let's start with highlights. So I don't see any owner there. First version of Falco Helm chart for plugins is out. Any one of you wants to address that?
I think this is mostly about Leonardo, which is not going to join, I think. You want to go, Thomas?
Yeah, I will tell a word about that. So basically, we just released yesterday a version of the Falco M chart to allow people to deploy a daemon set of Falco for only a subset of the official plugins. Right now, the idea was to have a way to replace the previous mechanism for audit logs that was internally coded in Falco. Now we use a plugin, and with this M chart, you can deploy Falco running the new plugin for collecting audit logs from the control plane. That's basically what it does. It works because the official plugins are embedded inside the Docker image. So they are already there, and we don't have to manage mechanism to download them, install them, etc. It works. I tested it yesterday, but you can have some issues. So take a look, test it, and write an issue if you face a problem. And that's all.
Okay, so I do have one question. You said it's not going to deploy as a daemon set every time. Is it possible to choose it?
Right now, it will deploy Falco as a daemon set, whatever you want. If you want syscall or use the plugin, the current version of the M chart will deploy a daemon set. And keep in mind, right now you can't do both. You can't run Falco for collecting syscalls and plugins and audit logs through a plugin at the same time. You need to install two different daemon sets, one for syscalls, one for the audit logs, because it doesn't work at the same time for Falco. It will change in future, I think. Jason will maybe tell a word about that after. But basically.
And that's only for the Kubernetes audit plugin, or also applies to, let's say, CloudTrail plugin?
Technically, CloudTrail should work, but as we are deploying in a daemon set, it means all Falco pods will collect the same event. So you will have a duplication of alerts. So technically it works, but it's not usable in production. So this is why I'm telling you to use it for audit logs for all push methods. If Falco is passive, it just has to receive event from an external source, it will work. So this is the way to proceed for audit logs. But if Falco has to pull event from an external source, the pattern is not correct right now with the deployment.
Okay, thank you. Any other question to that topic? Then we move to the next one. Federico?
Yeah, just quick, will be quick. I just wanted to, propose myself as an event generator repository maintainer. I did quite a bunch of pull requests in the event generator repository in the recent weeks and months to improve ARM64 support and implement some small features even there. Given that the code base is not huge, I feel this is the right moment for me to step up and take on some maintainership duties and help Leonardo Grasso, that is possibly the only super active maintainer, but he needs some help.
I'm not a maintainer of that repo, but I strongly endorse this personally, and I will also give some little call to action because for every contributor that usually adds new rules to Falco, potentially there can also be a dual PR open and event generator because we are kind of behind the line there. We don't generate as much, tests and events for all the rules we have. So that's I think a pretty valuable tool that we have there, and probably it's worth taking some effort trying to update it and align it with everything we have in the default rule set. So thank you, Fede, for proposing and stepping up for that.
Thank you, Jason.
Great, very good. Next topic, Andrea.
Yeah, I have just two little topics here. The first one is about the first pull request that I have opened just 2 days ago about the new modern BPF probe. This is quite important because it introduced the base structure over which we will build the test framework and all the other syscall, because right now there is just one syscall that is made here. So if you are obviously this pull request regard the proposal that I have opened almost 1 month ago, and here there is the link in the community. And yeah, so please, if you are interested in this topic, this is the right pull request to look at because it introduced the base structure, and after it, after this is merged, we will use this as base for all the other code. So this is really important. And the second point is quite related to the first one, because during the review of this pull request, we start thinking about introduce a coding style, because in the new code that I have introduced, I have formatted the code with the Clang format, and we think about extend the code style to the whole repo instead of just one part of it. So I have opened an issue that I put in the Archimedy to discuss about this. And always also here, if you are interested in this argument, please leave a comment under the issue so we can discuss about what is the right standard to use, or if there are preference or which standard to use. And I think that's all from my side.
I have a question about the standards. Basically, I think most of the developers of Falco and stuff around are using VS Code and Atom, Sublime Text, that kind of IDE. And can we, in the documentation or in the repository, tell them what linting system they have to use and propose them some JSON settings for the major IDE to have directly the standard integrated in their environment to develop?
Yeah, sure. I completely agree. We talk about it with Mario under the issue. On one side, we will explain how to configure the IDE like Visual Studio or others. And on the other side, we think of introduce a sort of script or make a target to directly, also if you don't have a particular extension in your IDE, just type make format and format all the code or your code with the right standard. So it could be quite easy to format your code.
So it's also sorry.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say that I think Mauro suggested to integrate it with Git, with like a Git hook, so that no matter what IDE you're using, you're always going to get the right format. Plus, we can also add the check in the CI to make everything consistent. So I think we should pretty much cover it on that side. I think from the community standpoint, the biggest issue will probably be Git blame, but at least my view of this is if we all agree that this is something we need, and I think personally it is, this should not be a big issue, and the automation will probably help to make it fair.
I would like to add something to that. When eventually this gets done, I suggest to have a commit with the full reformatting. So the Git history doesn't get polluted by the different new commits with the correct style. So there is just a single point where all the formatting gets aligned.
This is a good point. Yeah, we will do like that.
Completely
and
agree.
just
And
blame Manic.
yeah,
Sorry.
so yeah, I just wanted to add that enforcing style in CI is a must before you merge anything, because otherwise it's very easy for people to forget that you need to follow a style, and if there's no hard check somewhere to prevent you from merging stuff, you are just gonna end up falling back to like, oh, we have a bunch of changes that are not formatted. We need to format the whole repo again, and that's just annoying. So yeah.
I totally agree. As much as at least my personal opinion is that we will probably not need a proposal for this, and actually opening a PR with the formatting config and maybe the CI changes, will be enough. But I'm open to any opinion on this.
Yeah, I agree with Jason on this.
Good. All right, then, Michele.
Yeah. So, like very quick, we have an option, or better, I've been contacted by a couple of members in the community on the Slack channel asking why Falco wasn't present on the AWS Marketplace, which is basically like a point and click install tool. And I was just wondering that I don't have a precise answer. So basically, we didn't talk about this in the past, but it probably makes sense for a tool like Falco to be there as a Docker image that people can just click and install in their EKS cluster or something similar. So I didn't find, I like spent a few minutes thinking on the downsides of this. I couldn't find anyone. So I was just wondering whether someone here has opinionated thoughts on this, or we should just proceed. If so, I can volunteer to take care of this in the next days or weeks.
I think we have Falco on the Google Marketplace already. So
we do.
Yeah, so I don't see why we should not do it. And I believe that there are a lot of Falco users. Their cloud providers chosen, either in AWS or Google Cloud. So that would be much more convenient.
Great. Okay, basically that's it. So if no one has anything to say on the contrary, I mean, I will take care of this. Bring Falco on the AWS Marketplace in the next few days.
Very good, thank you. Kaitsu?
Cool. I'm the next one. Yeah. So I've been working with the community for quite some time, and I've been doing all my job as a maintainer, mainly around Falco rule reviews. And unfortunately, my job kept me busy, so I decided to step down from Falco maintainer role. But I will continue to work as much as possible. At the same time, I would like to offer a transition program to help another guy to step up as a Falco maintainer, mainly around Falco rules. That's my offer or my proposal. Anyone is interested?
I'm gonna move this into highlights, so you will.
Well, the biggest thing that I can say is that it's sad, at least for me, to see you go. But at the same time,
I'm not gone. I'm
okay.
It's bad for me to fail the commitment as a Falco maintainer. So, but I will try. I will continue to contribute, answer questions related to Falco rules, doing reviews. But I would say it would be great to have another guy officially support the Falco rule area.
the second part of my sentence was just a huge thank you because, you know, in terms of maintainership, you did, at least for me, a fantastic job. Like for every release, we really relied on your opinion on every rule. So really thank you. At least the last two in which I participated in the management, your help was super helpful. So thanks again. And looking forward to see who's going to be the next one taking your role then.
Sure.
Right. Thank you very much. And Jason, next point.
Yeah, I just wanted to, you know, as a maintainer of the project, I'd be contacted, you know, I think as everybody, any other maintainer as well, by the KubeCon NA 2022 committee, saying that we can start submitting for the maintainer track of Falco, which will happen in Detroit in October. And again, I think we just finished one last month, but I think this is a big opportunity for the project to gain visibility and talk, you know, to the audience on what we're doing and how amazing Falco is. So if any of the maintainers that are here in this call are interested in participating, you know, the floor is open. Personally, if no one is proposing themselves, I will propose myself, but you know, just like we did in the last one. But you know, usually they accept a couple of people, and if there is plenty of diversity, eventually they also like to have a bigger panel. I think 2 years ago 4 people participated, so the floor is open. Anyone who wants to participate, that will be super exciting. Just wanted to advise about this.
No comments.
Maybe Jason was thinking about like repeating this also in the Slack channel for people that couldn't join today.
Definitely.
So it's the CFP deadline already passed, right?
Sorry, what?
The CFP deadline has you know is
Yeah,
was Friday. Right?
it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday.
Okay. I plan to have a Falco talk, but I missed the deadline.
And they stated they've been, you know, much more generous than expected because they postponed it by 1 week. It used to be May 27th, which was basically 1 week after KubeCon. So yeah,
Correct.
a pretty close deadline this time.
Well, if I remember correctly, this used to happen every single year because KubeCon is usually at that point in time. So it's not the first time I hear about it.
All right. Any other topic? Questions? I see some names on the chat. Giacomo, Angelo is already there. Giacomo is the only one. I haven't seen that on the HackMD document. So I invite you to introduce your name. And if there are no more questions, it's been a short meeting. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for attending. And talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Gracias,
Bye.
Vicente.
Bye, folks.
Bye.